Hello, I'm Mike. Last year I met up with two agent friends and we started talking about these instant valuation tools. One of them had got one and he loved the number of leads that he got from it. And so he used it as a landing page and he linked to it from everything he could. So his email footers and his website had click here for a 60-second instant valuation link. And then he found it very easy to set up a paid advertising campaign in Facebook, which had been really successful. He said that for every £100 he spent, he would get 50 valuation leads from it. So he was delighted with that. A clever thing he'd done, he'd also changed his Rightmove banner advert to point specifically at his instant valuation landing page. And that's clever, isn't it? Because there aren't many ways of luring people away from Rightmove like that. So his experience was really good with it. But my other friend had got a completely different take on the whole thing. He said he didn't like and he wouldn't implement an instant valuation tool because he said they gave a crap valuation and they gave potential vendors unrealistic price aspirations, which his team would find difficult to fight against. He said he wouldn't want his logo sitting above anything that gave poor advice. So my first friend acknowledged that problem and he said, well, yeah, we get lots of people telling us that our website gave them a 500,000 valuation, but then why are we only valuing at 450,000? And we have to fight a lot of battles as a result of this, but at least we get the leads and we convert some of them into instructions. But at that point, my second friend chipped in with, well, the problem is that's just the people that you get to talk to. What about all those people that come to your website, get a crap valuation, and then decide that you're useless and then drift off and go talk to somebody else? My first friend also then acknowledged another problem, and he said that potential purchasers will often use the tool as a bit of a weapon to beat a price down. And he also said that he gets nosy neighbours using it, and he also gets people from out of area trying to use a tool for evaluation in his area. So there were some issues, but underneath it all, there's something there that generates leads and ultimately can create business. So that sparked my interest and got me thinking about whether this was something I could get involved in because I'd been looking for a new project. So I did more research. I got in touch with 50 agent friends and put together a specification. And it was quite complicated in a way because what they were asking me to do was come up with a tool that would get them leads, didn't damage their brands, wouldn't set unrealistic price aspirations, and couldn't be used as a stick by purchasers to beat them with. So quite a lot of stuff. The project initially was called TruVal. I'm not brave enough to call it that, hence TruVal. And I've spent about a year really working on it and getting a friend to write it. And I launched it in August this year. So let me just show you very quickly what it's all about. I don't need to do a full demo because there's a demo version of TruVal available on the TruVal website, which you can use for real. But just a bit of an overview. So I'm going to pose as a potential vendor. And I've come here to the Baxter's, the fake estate agent's TruVal landing page from an advert to get an instant valuation. Now note the web address, the URL up at the top. It's valuation.baxtersproperty.co.uk, and the valuation bit's a subdomain. If you've got somebody else's valuation tool, you've probably already got one of these. You'll just need to point your subdomain at TruVal rather than your current provider. That's a 5-minute job to your domain settings, and you can do it yourself or I'll guide you. There's no need to get a designer involved, and all your links and your adverts and your campaigns will point at your new TruVal page straight away. So I'm showing 3 options. The one I've come for, an instant valuation, only gets 3 stars for accuracy, and Baxter's have set up their choice of text to explain why. They've cleverly used that magic word algorithm, and it's one of those that arguably messed up the 2020 GCSE and A-level results. So if I'm sensible and serious, I'm going to go for the 5-star option. Now this asks for name and address details, and then details of the property, and then finally it prompts with the dates and times for the appointment. I choose a date and time, and then I get told that Baxter's will confirm. This is the way my agent friends wanted it done. Pin the potential vendor down here and now to a date and time. Baxter's get an email, and if it's a good valuation, presumably they'll move their appointments around and do it. If they can't do it, well, they'll have to ring me and they'll have to blame their silly valuation tool. But at least they've got a confirmed valuation appointment, and it doesn't give the potential vendor a chance to drop out. Brilliant. Maybe I won't go for a 5-star valuation. Instead, I'll try that 4-star option. And it asks for the same info. Then it asks me to upload videos or photos. And Baxter's presumably get these, and then they push for a proper 5-star valuation. Because I'm not going to do the sensible thing, I'm going to go for an instant computer-generated estimate. And of course, even that name helps to discredit this option. It isn't a valuation. It's using that dreaded algorithm again. So I'm asked for my details, and then I'm asked for property details. If I enter an address that isn't in Baxter's patch, it's going to explain politely that Baxter's can't help. That saves them getting lots of time wasters. And if you subscribe, you set up your patch as required. If you want national, that's no problem. I'm asked why I want the valuation. Well, I'm ready to move. And that's so important to know, isn't it, to save time wasting. What sort of valuation do I want? Well, I want a sales and a lettings valuation. And now I need to declare my interest. If I choose anything but owner, it's going to politely explain that it can't give me an estimate. Of course, I could then pretend to be the owner, but then there's the option to ask me when I bought it. Now, you don't have to have this, but my agent friends love this, an easy way of confirming ownership so as not to give valuations to nosy neighbours and purchasers, etc. And you can change the text that comes up if a wrong date's entered. So I move on. I now get a pause while TruVal says it's working. Well, in fact, the estimate is calculated in about half a second, and Baxter's get the first of 2 emails telling them that Mike Griffiths has requested an estimate. Now, if they were quick on the draw, I guess they could call me just as my estimate pops up. The pause, though, is so that explanation text can be displayed. And there are 3 pages that come up. Each one stays on the screen for several seconds and displays whatever text Baxter's want to show. So the standard text explains the process, the limitations, and the potential for inaccuracy. And the idea is that it basically discredits the instant estimate before the potential vendor even sees it. There's also a 4th page that only shows if I've asked for a lettings or sale and lettings valuation. And again, it explains the process and the limitations. So now, finally, I see the computer-generated estimate, and I might agree with it, and of course I might not. And I'm asked to engage with the process. I tick the boxes for all the work I've done, and I add a text comment. I'm led to believe that by doing this, I'm going to get a more accurate estimate. And in the tests that we did, most potential vendors are happy to fill this in. Then, and this bit is dynamite, I'm asked to add my opinion on value. Now that's brilliant, isn't it? I wish I'd thought of it, but it was one of my agent friends that came up with it. So I move forward and I get one last page that discredits the instant valuation and encourages me to go for a 5-star proper face-to-face valuation. If I continue, I'm back to Baxter's TruVal landing page and I'm offered the 5-star and the 4-star options. And now that's the end of my TruVal journey. Baxter's get another email with details of my improvements and my value estimate. And if they're on the ball, they'll call me and I guess they'll push for a valuation. But a key thing is that I, as the potential vendor, don't receive any automated emails from Baxter's. And that's a big difference between TruVal and its competitors. Back at my lunch meeting, my friend that didn't have a valuation tool said there's no way he'd want a crap val reinforced with a crap email with his logo on top. My friend with the valuation tool agreed. He said he wished he could switch it off. Both said they'd rather their team respond in a proper, professional and considered way, call the potential vendor, and maybe later email a valuation report using data from Rightmove or Sprift, etc. So that's it. That's a quick look at TruVal. Please go and try the demo for yourself. The support section on the TruVal website has got lots of stuff about how you can configure your TruVal to suit your needs. And of course, you can change the text, the colors, you decide who you want to receive the inquiries. You can set up analytics from Google, Facebook, etc. And of course, you can download your requests and put them into MailChimp, Brief Your Market, etc. for campaigns. I also cover a bit about how to set up Facebook campaigns, but I don't profess to be an expert on this. I always recommend you to someone who is. And then finally, just a quick word about pricing. My skeptical friend has 6 branches. Other suppliers wanted 6 subscriptions from him. Well, TruVal needs just 1 subscription per business and maybe a few extra postcodes adding, regardless of the size of business. And he worked out that TruVal would be just 10% of the cost of a competing product. And that's how it should be, because TruVal exists to help agents out, cover its costs, give me something to focus on, and a bit of pocket money. Thanks for watching.